the blessing of the Lord will fix it today.
God in the midst of his people, electrifying lives, giving jaw-dropping miracles and incredible testimonies. All-round settlements. Host Pastor Matthew and Pastor Mrs. Mary Morakinyo also ministering. Leke Gospel, Steve Crown, Prosper Ochiama, and Courage. Date February 20th, 2026. Time 9 p.m. Venue Velodrome, Abuja National Stadium. Special Power Touch Night. Experience the transformative power of God. Special Power Touch Night, all-round settlements.
Independent National Electoral Commission ga-amalitekwa ọzọ idebanye aha maka ntuli aka n'obodo niile nke ha kwụsịbụrụ. Nke a bụ maka ụmụ amaala ndị nke tozuru etozu na-edebanyeghị aha ha na ndị gbara afọ 18 mgbe edebanyechara aha nke ikpeazụ site na Mọnde abalị 5 n'ọnwa Jenụwarị 2026. Ndị niile chọrọ idebanye aha ha maka ntuli aka nwere ike ịga na pọtal ndị INEC na www.tvr.inecnigeria.org jedebanye aha ha ma depụtakwa oge ma banyekwa n'ụlọ ọrụ ndị INEC ọbụla dị ha nso iji wee seta mkpịsị aka ha n'ihu ha. Ụlọ ọrụ INEC steeti n'ime obodo dị iche iche ga-emepekwa chebiri ndị chọọ ịbata ma were aka ha debanye aha onwe ha. Ndị ntuli aka debanyere aha ha na mbụ na ndị chọrọ inyefe ndebanye aha ha ebe ọzọ nwekwara ike itinye akwụkwọ maka nnọchi PVC ha furu efu ma ọ bụ nke mebiri emebi ma ọ bụ dozie ozi banyere onwe ha na ndebanye aha ntuli aka nke ugbu a. Biko chetakwanụ na idebanye aha ugboro ugboro bụ imebi iwu. Ozi a si n'aka ndị Independent National Electoral Commission INEC.
It's a brand new day, I'm feeling stronger. I fit to do anything, I fit to do my work now. Yesterday was tough, but I don't repair, I don't recover. Yeah, see me as a fresh. Say, ask me how will I do them? Like me, I say, I'm in the way. If for capsule, I'm for liquido, yeah.
Repair and recover with Astimi.
From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. Minister of Works David Umahi pledges to resign if ongoing construction on the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano highway is proven substandard, inviting independent integrity tests to verify project quality. 5 U.S. lawmakers introduce a bill in Congress seeking sanctions against former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso, Makban, and Mieti Allah Kautahore over alleged religious freedom violations in Nigeria. Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State assures victims of the attacks in Abande and Awase of improved security. A senator representing Benue South Senatorial District, Abba Moro, urges the governor to take action to address insecurity in the state. And Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney expresses national grief to Tumbler Ridge residents after 9 people were killed in tragic shootings, saying the nation mourns with you.
On business news, Nigeria fails to meet its OPEC-assigned crude oil production quota for the 6th consecutive month as output remains below the 1.5 million barrels per day target.
On sports, House of Reps Committee on Sports increases National Institutes for Sports 2026 budget estimates from 2.8 billion naira to about 60 billion naira.
From the nation's capital, federal government launches technology hackathon aimed at engaging 5,000 youths nationwide, providing innovative pathways for job opportunities.
Minister of Works, David Umahi, has vowed to resign if the ongoing work on the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Road project is found to be substandard, declaring his readiness to subject the work to independent integrity tests. Mr. Umahi made the statement during a tense budget defense session before the Senate Committee on Works, where lawmakers questioned the award of a section of the project to a company some legislators described as unknown and previously associated with generator sales. The Defense Minister, General Christopher Musa, was also at the budget defense session. Our National Assembly correspondent, Gloria Umezoke, reports.
It's the turn of the Ministry of Works as the minister and officials appear before a National Assembly Joint Committee on Works for a budget defense. What began as a routine session quickly gathered momentum when the chairman opened the floor for questions.
This is just an optical illusion. I shared the concern of the chairman about Abuja-Kaduna Road. Why will you take a job from a reputable company and give it to an unknown company that has no record of having worked anyway? So, however, Mr. Yukai Taron, you know the answer the question, you have to take it easy. Wait, let me if I don't follow you, I will not answer.
His remarks sparked more tension as some aggrieved lawmakers cautioned his tone.
Co-chairman, this is unacceptable. The honorable senator cannot be talking, and the minister is telling us, if I like, I answer. If I like, I don't answer. Would you like us to address you like that?
Allow me only 2 minutes to answer these questions before it to escape. I'm very 100% satisfied with the quality and the speed of work of Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano project. And my answer to the single senator is, I challenge you for project inspection and bring the best of your consultants. Bring, a static concrete tester, and then let us go and see, there are requirements in engineering. What is the strength of concrete in 7 days? What is the strength of concrete in 28 days? If you do it and it fails, I will throw in the towel.
The session was marked by drama as another shouting match broke out when Senator Weboing began to speak and was cut short by the committee chairman.
This is the first time we are having a minister who is an expert. You are just praising the minister. You should allow us to thank him. Excuse me. Teaching your voice for 15 minutes. And I was talking for 5 minutes. You are teaching. Don't tell me that, please. You are teaching. You are teaching your boss. Please, don't unlucky.
Even an intervention from another lawmaker to calm nerves only further escalated the tension.
You cannot.
Calm is eventually restored. The Minister of Works had earlier criticized the funding structure for capital projects, describing the cash plan adopted by the Federal Ministry of Finance as anti-progressive to the success of his ministry. At a separate session where the Minister of Defense appeared before the Senate Committee on Defense, the issue of funding is whipped up.
The exercise of implementation has been a little bit slow. But what is essential is, how are we prepared to move forward? You cannot really postpone implementation of budget on defense. The Federal Ministry of Defense, our armed forces, other security agencies must have their budgets implemented in order to secure the lives and property of Nigerians.
The session then continues behind closed doors.
Well, there's more ahead as the president's economic team is expected to appear before lawmakers this week as the budget defense session continues, with more MDAs scheduled for marathon sessions ahead of the anticipated conclusion in March. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezoke, Channels Television News.
5 U.S. lawmakers have tabled a controversial bill in Congress seeking sanctions against Miyetti Allah Kautahore, the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, and former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso over alleged religious freedom violations. The proposed legislation, titled the Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026, was introduced by Representatives Chris Smith, Riley Moore, Brian Most, Mario Diaz-Balart, and Bill Huizenga. The bill accuses Governor Kwankwaso of contributing to what it describes as persistent systemic persecution of Christians in Nigeria. If passed into law, the measure would compel the U.S. Departments of State and Treasury to impose targeted sanctions, including visa bans and asset freezes under the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act. It also directs the agencies to justify to Congress if such sanctions are not enforced. In a sweeping provision, the bill mandates the U.S. Secretary of State to determine whether certain ethnic militias operating in Nigeria should be designated as foreign terrorist organizations. As of press time, neither former Governor Kwankwaso nor the armed groups had responded to these allegations. Benue has had its fair share of security challenges over time, prompting observers to ask, is there an end in sight? For the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Abba Moro, he's drawing attention to the situation, urging Governor Hyacinth Alia to take action to address insecurity in the state. Senator Moro, who represents Benue South Senatorial District, in an interview in Abuja, made his feelings known. He made the call following the abduction of 9 Catholic worshippers in the Utonkon community in Benue State, as well as the abduction of 14 travelers along the Utonkon-Opoga Road, which led to the death of a person. The communities are all within Benue South Senatorial District. The lawmaker believes that the governor must live up to his constitutional responsibility of protecting lives and property.
There is an imperative need, therefore, for Governor Alia, the Chief Security Officer of Benue State, to rise up to his constitutional responsibility by mobilizing all resources to save the people and guarantee peace and security in Benue South Senatorial District, and indeed Benue State. A situation of mute silence by the government and governor of Benue State to condemn the frequent killing of our people is unacceptable. The 1999 Constitution, as amended, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria imposes the responsibility of protecting lives and property of the citizens on the governor. Governor Alia can therefore not continue to keep silent in the wake of the killings of our people as if their lives and well-being don't matter. I call on Governor Alia, therefore, to act now before our people are completely annihilated. I call on the governor to call on the local government chairmen as chief security officers in their various local government areas to live up to their expectations, given the improved financial allocations that have been made to them in recent times. Finally, I call on Governor Alia to, as a matter of urgency, provide relief palliatives to the affected communities and stop acting as if Benue South is not part of Benue State.
Well, it will appear Governor Hyacinth Alia is living up to his responsibility, just as Senator Abba Moro appealed to him as the governor visited the people of Toran community in Kwande local government on an assessment tour. Now, Governor Alia assured victims of the attacks in Abande and Anwase districts of improved security as he approved the construction of the Niemba-Anwase-Abande road to help ease movement and enhance security patrol and rapid response.
On February, to have one excuse or the other that will make them not to be present, and immediately they are absent, they will experience an attack. That's why I say the government should at least spiritualize them to put in more. And then they run to the camp, complain to them that this place, man, they are on a grazing and they are setting houses abreast. They bomb bushes. He said they are men on duty. It's their men that are on patrol. We should not be worried. We went back for the second time to meet them. No way. We never see them. Then they came into the market. A lot of guns were shot. They cover us.
Leaders of the community expressed worry over the occupation of Kwande Forest by herdsmen, a concern that the police is pledging to address.
We can't have bandits in the forest who will come out, kill people at will, freely, and then the federal government to liaise with the state government so that we can bring succor to these people.
The state government has procured 6 gunboats and is yet to be commissioned. I think it will help in the securing the waterways, because of course some of these bandits they take advantage of the porous nature of the waterways. To move in men, their armed men, and logistics.
Condemning the attacks, Governor Alia promises to enhance collaboration and provision of the needed logistics to security agencies to tackle the threats, including improvement in telecommunication services and the construction of access roads in the community.
Once I get back home, I'm going to work very immediately to see how road work from Jatoka to Awasi.
Mixed reactions as critics challenge the decision to continue using Form EC8A in the collation and result transmission process. Please stay with us.
Just you and your dreams, running wild and free. Oh no, life can be easy. Smooth connection when they collect. Smooth connection when they collect. Chef of life.
Eniola, calm down.
Calm down? What if I ruin everything? Auntie Amina is coming. Just pass the beef and dawa cubes. No, Hassan. With Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
Chef of life. I am the chef of life. Chef of life with Mr. Chef.
Eniola, you've got this.
Tanu Mama, Tanu Baba.
Hassan, why do you look so lean?
I am a chef of life.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories. This is a true taste of home.
And culture.
Taste culture.
This Ramadan, it's not the season to hide, it's the season to let my beauty shine. Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Lotion 5-in-1 Complete Care. Discover deep nourishment with cocoa butter, deep moisture serum, and vitamin E for long-lasting moisture and protection from dry and ashy skin without the greasy feel. Get the Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Glow this Ramadan. Skin is for always shining. Nivea is for skin.
Since Nigeria's independence in 1960, we have been building. Beyond homes, we built strong families and even stronger bonds and relationships. Beyond offices, we built foundation. Together, you and us have built the foundations of yesterday and today. Together, we'll build the next possibilities. Lafarge, a member of Washin, Beyond Buildings.
A new chapter in Nigerian storytelling is here. The Nigeria Prize for Creative Arts with focus on documentary film. The theme for the inaugural prize is Identity. Who are we? Where do we come from? What shapes us? Now it's your turn to tell that story. From February to April 2026, young Nigerian filmmakers aged 18 to 35. This is your platform, your voice, a chance to join a vibrant ecosystem of storytellers shaping how the world sees Nigeria. Your work will be evaluated by an exceptional panel of judges using world-class standards. Visit thenigeriaprizes.org for full details.
Ga al'ummar arewacin Najeriya musamman jihar Kano da ku ci gaba da amfani da madarar Tweet Milk.
goes on, and on and on and on we go on.
Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television Broadcast and Logs. David Umahi pledges to resign if ongoing Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, inviting independent integrity to verify project quality. 5 years, lawmakers introduce a bill in Congress seeking sanctions against former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso, Mark Band, and Mieti Allah Kaltahore over alleged religious freedom violations in Nigeria. Governor Hyacinth Ali of Benue State assures victims of the attacks in Abande and Anwase of improved security, as Senator representing Benue South Senatorial District Abba Moro urges the governor to take action to address insecurity in the state. And Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney expresses national grief to Tumbler Ridge residents after 9 people were killed in tragic shootings, saying the nation mourns with you. A panic spread through the Bayelsa State Secretariat when staff members suddenly evacuated the complex following reports. There's some interesting news for residents in Anambra State. Governor Chukwuma Soludo says 62 criminal camps.
You know, when I assumed office, so far since I came into office, about 62 criminal camps have been dismantled in Anambra. And we're not resting, not 1 second. And Anambra will pride ourselves to be the safest, if not, maybe modestly one of the safest states in the country. And so security is key. Last Christmas, everybody was all over the state. It was as if we had a mass return. Traffic, heavy traffic all over the place. And that's a celebration of the return of security of lives and properties back again in the region. We can't allow criminality to dominate our place. And even more recently, these criminals have held the southeast region hostage. And for 5 years, for more than 5 years, every Monday there was a criminal, very debilitating, destructive Monday sit at home. The schools, aside from the capital cities, the 5 southeast states, the capital cities, no sit at home on Mondays. But then the rest of the places were mostly under lock so far. We're taking back our region.
Mixed reactions have continued to trail the Senate's position on the electronic transmission of election results, with some criticizing the decision to retain the Form EC8A, that's the primary manual result sheet used to record votes in the collation, is a game changer, stating that it has the potential to strengthen the country's electoral system.
This should have been the 3rd day of the Occupy National Assembly protest by civil society groups, the national opposition movement, and some prominent Nigerians who are dissatisfied with the initial position of the Senate on electronic transmission of election results. However, the National Assembly entrance on Wednesday is devoid of protesters as security personnel strategically position their vehicles around the gate. Protesters had on. However, the Senate convened an emergency plenary session on Tuesday, February the 10th, to review the earlier decision and allow for electronic transmission of results, with a caveat. Although the latest position of the Senate appears to have doused attention, it has also elicited mixed reactions from the political class and the civil society.
For us, I want to believe that what took place yesterday is not totally out of place. For the mere fact that it has come under the law, for the mere fact that it is now an issue that will be passed under the Act, it is now a law. If Mr. President can consent to it, what it means that there must, what is the word shall, when you say that there shall be transmission, that means surely on election day there shall be transmission of results from the polling unit to IRF portal.
This is not what Nigerians ask for. It's real-time electronic transmission of results. So Nigerians is not taking what the Senate has done, as having done their desire, their request, their aspiration.
The Senate's latest position on e-transmission of election results allows for manual collation and declaration when communication failure occurs. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives had in December last year. A senior advocate of Nigeria speaks on the legal implications of the current bill.
Unlike before that, there's not like electoral transmission in the Electoral Act. We now have in the Electoral Act that where it is proven beyond reasonable doubt, that election could have been transmitted from a particular location to the IRF or to the back room or wherever it's supposed to be transmitted to, and there's failure to that, then the burden, the onus now falls to INEC to explain why. And apart from improving the electoral system, it will also lessen the cases in court. Because if it is online and it's proven, and everybody is seeing the result as it flows, where are you going to go to court from?
The bill seeking real-time electronic transmission of election results has two more steps to go in the National Assembly. First, the harmonization of the positions of the two chambers and the transmission to the President by assent before it becomes an electoral law.
Civic advocacy group Go Nigeria has announced an expansion of its mandate beyond voter mobilization to broader democratic reforms. The initiative says strengthening democracy in Nigeria requires more than periodic elections, but stronger institutions, protected freedoms, and improved security for citizens.
Since its inception, the Go Nigeria initiative has focused on encouraging citizen participation in elections, particularly among young Nigerians, urging voter registration, collection of permanent voter cards, and active participation in the electoral process. But in a statement released today, the group says Nigeria's democratic experience demands a broader intervention. According to the initiative, democracy must be supported by strong institutions and public trust if it's to deliver meaningful governance outcomes. The group now says its advocacy will expand to include electoral reform, protection of freedom of speech, judicial reform, and the security of life and property. Go Nigeria argues that electoral reform remains central to democratic legitimacy, noting that vote buying, intimidation, and disputed results have historically weakened public confidence in elections. On freedom of speech, the group says open civic expression enables citizens and the media to scrutinize power and strengthens political competition. The initiative also identifies judicial reform as critical. Stress on security, the group warns that insecurity, including insurgency, kidnapping, and election-related violence, limits political participation and undermines democratic legitimacy. The statement concludes that democracy risks becoming procedural rather than transformative if these foundational issues are not addressed. Go Nigeria is convened by investment banker Atedo Peterson and supported by a group of prominent advocates drawn from civil society, government, business, and the creative sector. The initiative says its next phase will focus on advocacy, public engagement, and policy conversations aimed at strengthening democratic institutions and encouraging citizens to play a more active role in defending democratic values.
Still ahead on the news at 10. Nigeria falls short of its OPEC crude oil production quota for the 6th straight month, with daily output still below the 1.5 million barrels per day target. That's in business news. Please join us again.
With Nivea Dry Deo, you can keep moving forward in life with confidence. Nivea Dry Deo. Derma 72-hour active protection against sweat and odor with 0% alcohol to prevent irritation. So now in a smaller pack size.
I am your chef of life. My Oga, welcome, sir.
Apologies. We need to look at this report.
What can we offer you?
Don't worry, I will soon be leaving.
I'm coming.
Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
Pass the beef and crayfish.
I am your chef of life. I am your chef of life. Chef of life with Mr. Chef. And Yola, we got this.
Food is ready, sir.
I was about to take my leave.
Mazi, Irigadigo.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
This is the true taste of home.
And culture.
Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
My Baba, they always say, for market, every day gets your own wahala. Sometimes people go on scamming. But Baba say, no be by gra. You must cool down, dey sharp. Because with OPay payment, your money go enter sharp, no story. But inside market, anything fit happen. One day, we no see phone again. My Baba remember OPay USSD lock. That's *955*131#. Baba press am, lock account. From market woman to driver, from small boy to big man. Now OPay, they protect people like us. My Baba fit sell, press phone, collect POS, and still they teach me price. And when they don't tire am, go just tap OPay night guard. We no fear for this our hustle life. Now OPay be the people payment shield.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Bonvita, prepare them to win every day.
Win your share of 3 billion naira with Nivea. 1,000 naira airtime guaranteed with every entry. Become one of 10 millionaires weekly. Or win a chance to see Real Madrid live. 3 SUVs to be won. Buy any Nivea 400ml promo product. Scratch and dial to enter.
I am your chef of life. Mr. Chef, it's a 2-finger crush.
Pass me the chicken and all
I am your chef of life. I am your chef of life. Chef of life with Mr. Chef. Mama Maka, we got this.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
This is the true taste of home.
And culture. Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
Welcome back. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, has announced plans to convene Nigeria's first National Traditional and Religious Leaders Summit on Health 2026, scheduled to hold on Monday, February the 16th. Speaking during a ministerial press briefing in Abuja, Professor Pate explained that the summit is aimed at engaging traditional and religious leaders across the country to strengthen community participation, trust, and accountability in Nigeria's healthcare system. According to the minister, the summit is being held to formally bring together traditional and religious leaders as key partners in improving health outcomes, and the engagement will also provide a platform for the leaders to share grassroots perspectives that can help government refine policies and address gaps in service delivery.
The Health Act 2014 had provided for the creation of a national consultative health forum to promote and facilitate interaction, communication, and sharing of information on national health issues between representatives of the ministry and national and state organizations. Now, the consultative forum, this was a more formalized structure that was created by the Act. What this is doing is going beyond that, in the sense that we're engaging traditional religious leaders alongside civil society, state governments, and other officials in an inclusive manner. And it is in line with this that Mr. President approved the convening of this Traditional and Religious Leaders Summit on Health for us to achieve the following: to increase the understanding of these critical stakeholders in the health sector on the strategic blueprint of the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, which is driven by Mr. President's renewed hope agenda and his vision, and to seek their collaboration to ensure successful implementation, and also to help us hold each other accountable, federal government, states, local government, so that we achieve the result. Because health will improve in Nigeria if Nigerians all collectively decide to work together to advance the health of the nation.
All right, let's now head to the nation's capital, and Millicent Walker is standing by to give us the latest from our Abuja studios. Over to you, Millicent.
Many thanks, Ayotunde. We begin with the federal government, who has launched a tech hackathon which targets 5,000 youths in the country for job opportunities. The initiative, apart from creating jobs, is also aimed at supporting Nigeria's digital economy transformation. Well, speaking at the launch, the Chief of Staff to the Vice President, Mr. Ibrahim Hadijia, who represented Vice President Kashim Shettima, says President Bola Tinubu has placed job creation top of his priorities. Our State House correspondent, Emperor Simon, has more.
Government officials, business leaders, international development partners, and members of the academia converge on the State House Conference Center, Abuja, for the launch of the Connect Next Gen Hackathon, an initiative championed by the Office of the Vice President in partnership with some private organizations.
This is a program that is in line with the renewed hope agenda. And more importantly, it's not just all about training, but also employability of the Nigerian citizens.
The hackathon bridges the long-standing gap between education and industry by combining structured learning, mentoring, and an 8-week acceleration program.
As Nigeria advances its digital transformation agenda, the federal government, through the Connect Next Gen Hackathon, is seeking to link skills development to real national challenges. Representatives of some international development partners and some government agencies present expressed readiness to support the initiative.
We wouldn't allow this to just be a competition that would make our young people excited in competing, but we would also support with identifying some of the competition outcomes that can be commercialized.
Sweden remains a committed partner to Nigeria's digital journey. We will continue to support collaboration between our country's institutions, companies, and innovators.
Representing the Vice President, the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Ibrahim Hadijia, says the program is in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to empower young Nigerians and turn the country's population into demographic dividends.
With an expected reach of over 5,000 applications nationwide, the program is positioned to shortlist 50 teams, nurture 10 finalists, and crown deserving winners who will carry the torch of innovation forward. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ECFR, has placed job creation at the very top of his priorities, and job creation in this century is inseparable from digital capability.
At the end of the competition, ideas from the hackathon are expected to be mentored, accelerated, and commercialized. Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
Staying in the Federal Capital Territory, the Minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike, has expressed satisfaction with the level of work on the ongoing road construction project in Kuje Area Council of the nation's capital. Well, speaking during an inspection tour of the project, the Minister describes the road construction as very important, stating that the projects will be inaugurated between May and June this year. The road projects include a 6.8-kilometer road to link Kuje area to the airport and a 13-kilometer road to link the Kuje area to Gwagwalada Area Council.
The airport to Kuje road is a wild road that's very key for us. Then from Kuje to Gwagwalada. Last time I was there, you remember, we stopped at the mosque where they were constructing. And we were well impressed with the level of work done. And like the contractors have said, God willing, by first week of June or July, they would have inaugurated this project. It's a very important project, so that You don't need to go to the through airport if you are going to Bavada for going to town. So I think it's very important. We are very, very happy with what we have seen. Very happy. Well, if you take from airport to Kuje, it was 30%, and here I can see it's almost 65%. So I think they will be tough.
And that's it from Abuja. Back to Ayotunde in Lagos for more on the news at 10.
Many thanks, Millicent. Flutterwave, one of Africa's leading fintech companies, says it is bridging a major gap for Nigerian businesses by enabling companies of all sizes to make and receive payments globally. A founder and CEO, Olugbenga Agbola, outlined the company's global expansion roadmap during a gala in Lagos celebrating Flutterwave's 10th anniversary.
Notable dignitaries are joining industry leaders as Flutterwave is marking its 10th anniversary with a gala organized in partnership with the Delboro. Beyond the celebration, the event signals a new phase for the fintech company as it unveils its global scaling roadmap, positioning itself as a foundational digital payments infrastructure provider across key sectors of Nigeria's economy and beyond.
The last 2.5 years, we have been able to plant our seeds across global territories like the US, like the UK, like the EU, with banking infrastructure and licenses through partnership with Nuvia. And that is key because we envisage a world whereby payment can now be actually borderless without a need to use any corresponding banking platform between us.
Nigeria's former president, Obasanjo, highlights fintech's transformative role in driving job creation, industrialization, economic diversification, and global competitiveness.
The resources for development must be made to correspond with the opportunities so that the men and women, the opportunities and the resources put together will make us get to where we should be.
The evening features tributes recognizing Flutterwave's decade-long impact on Nigeria's digital economy and its contributions to expanding financial access across Africa.
We can actually use his story and other story to rekindle and to reshape the story of Nigeria by giving opportunity to everyone that we need to.
The company also reaffirms its commitments to shaping the future of commerce, citing its recent acquisition of Mono Open Banking technology platform to strengthen secure financial data access and direct bank-to-bank payments. Looking to the future, the company says the coming decade will center on expanding financial inclusion and advancing its mission to connect Africa to the global economy through seamless and secure payment solutions.
All right, let's find out what's happening with Nigeria as regards OPEC in the world of business. Here's Dominic Iwiwo.
Thank you, Ayotunde. And on business news, Nigeria has failed to meet its OPEC-assigned crude oil production quota for the 6th consecutive month. This is according to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, monthly oil market report. The report shows that Nigeria's average daily crude oil output slipped to around 1.478 million barrels per day in January 2026, a slight decline from figures recorded in December 2025. This remains below the nation's OPEC quota of 1.5 million barrels per day. The broader OPEC report also adds that overall oil production among the group's members declined in January 2026, with reduced supply from Nigeria and other producers contributing to lower aggregate output. And the domestic equities market closed the third trading day in positive territory, led by gains in MTN shares. Willie Bong tells us more.
Welcome to the stock market report. We are seeing sustained positive momentum at the NGX. A lot of price action for stocks as investors continue to buy frenzy. The benchmark index jumped 0.78% today to break a new record, closing at 178,184.36 points. Market cap not left behind with an 881 billion naira increase. Ended today's trading 114 trillion naira higher. Banking stocks did not drop the ball today. Again, we see the index nearly 2% up, 1.58 to be precise. And for 2 straight days now, consumer goods also in line. They're 1.28% up. And also in focus today is oil and gas. And this time it's on the back of gains in O&O and Japan Gold. Investors are waiting for the next big rally in O&O. When will it come? But most major indexes, I can tell you, closed up in the green today. Also, we see MTN Nigeria, the biggest culprit here today, pulling in another win today to end today's trading session at 650 naira. With more gainers than losers in the market today, it's pretty exciting time for traders and investors. And the thought on everyone's mind probably is, does the market still have legs to run? Will Ibang signing out.
Thank you, Will. Let's see the snapshot performance for other major equities. And that's it on business news. Back to Ayotunde for the rest of the news at 10.
Many thanks, Dominic. Canadian police have revealed the identity of the suspect in the school and home shootings in British Columbia as 18-year-old Jesse Van Rosselaar. This comes as Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney commiserates with residents of Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. Here's Simon Hughes with more on this and other international news and around the world in 5 from our London studio.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. 9 people have been killed and at least 25 injured in attacks at a secondary school and a home in British Columbia in Canada. Footage shows students evacuating and officers arriving at the school. At least 2 more people were airlifted away with serious or life-threatening injuries. The suspect's body was found at the school with a self-inflicted injury. Mass shootings are relatively rare in Canada, where gun ownership laws are stricter than in the United States. Canada's Prime Minister and emotional Mark Carney said he is devastated.
Parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers in Tumbler Ridge will wake up without someone they love. The nation mourns with you. Canada stands by you.
Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is facing growing pressure from U.S. officials and the family of his prominent accuser, Virginia Giuffre, to testify in the U.S. about his links to the paedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. On Monday, the King said the royal family were ready to support police in their inquiries. Andrew has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and reached an out-of-court settlement with Miss Giuffre in 2022, containing no admission of liability.
And by the way, I think this is the most vulnerable the British monarchy has ever been. I mean, I heard they were asking the Queen questions about the Epstein class. They ought to ask the King and Queen questions, and maybe this will be the end of the monarchy.
There are reports that Volodymyr Zelensky is set to share plans for future presidential elections and a referendum on a potential peace deal on the 24th of February. This is due to pressure on Kyiv from the Trump administration to hold both votes by the 15th of May or risk losing proposed U.S. security guarantees. While presidential elections are overdue, Ukraine has postponed them due to the war. President Zelensky had previously insisted that he could only hold elections if the security of his country was guaranteed by Ukraine's allies. All 55 people on board a passenger plane have been safely evacuated after the aircraft overran the runway and ended up in shallow waters during an emergency landing in Somalia. No one was injured in the incident, which happened near the country's main airport on Tuesday. The Starsky aviation aircraft had taken off from Mogadishu's Aden Abdul International Airport when it developed a technical problem around 15 minutes into its flight. The pilot then turned back and made an emergency landing, but he overshot the tarmac, veered off and finished at the shoreline of a beach in the Indian Ocean. All 50 passengers and 5 crew members safely left the plane. Ghana has designated every Wednesday as a day to wear the country's traditional outfit, the fugu, days after it sparked an online debate with Zambians. The garment gained prominence last week when President John Mahama wore it during a state visit to Zambia, where some mockingly called it a blouse, prompting a fierce response from Ghanaians online. Ghana's Minister for Tourism said wearing the outfit every week would help project the country's identity with pride on the global stage. Pop superstar Britney Spears has sold the rights to her entire music catalogue. The 44-year-old is said to have sold it to the independent music publisher Primary Wave on the 30th of December for around $200 million. The singer, whose protracted conservatorship long dictated her personal and professional life, said she would never return to the music industry. Her last song was a duet released with Elton John in 2022. Primary Wave has also acquired the rights to the estates of Notorious B.I.G., Prince and Whitney Houston. Details of the sale and the exact price of Spears' catalogue have not been made public.
Day 492 of not cutting my hair until Man United win 5 games in a row. We're getting closer.
And the long wait for a haircut continues for this Manchester United fan who in October last year said he wouldn't cut his hair until his side won 5 games in a row. The Red Devils had won 4 games in succession until they drew last night with West Ham. It means Frank Illett has now gone 493 days without cutting his hair. The fan now has more than 2.3 million followers on social media, and his live stream of Tuesday's game at times had more than 100,000 people watching.
We'd had a bit of a tough start to the season. There were a lot of draws and a few losses, and I just thought, I'm going to do this. I think it's a good way to spread some humour to other Man United fans, but I did only think it would go on for like 3 or 4 months or something, you know.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.
Many thanks indeed, Simon, and welcome to Sports News. The House of Reps Committee on Sports has increased the 2026 budget estimates of the National Institute of Sports from 2.8 billion naira to about 60 billion naira. Chairman of the committee, Kabiru Amadu, emphasized the need for increased allocation to enable the institution discharge its responsibility effectively.
For us to achieve not fasting and praying for Super Eagles or any of our tournament, for us to win, we need to develop our athletes. And these facilities are very solid. With little funding, I have a very economic budget, but budget that deals directly with what we want to resolve and solve. For us to be able to achieve our raw talent in Nigeria, now participate in international engagement, NIS have to function. For us not to have only our children from abroad representing our country, NIS have to function. We have a proposal of 47 billion for their transformation and also 12.1 billion of the day. That's what we are hoping, and that's what we are going to work with the appropriation committee and the House at large to make sure that NIS has gotten this so that the transformation will continue.
To other stories, like Janet Akakuroma already ruled out with injury. The Nigeria Premier Football League has imposed a total fine of 7.5 million naira and stadium ban on wicked tourists following security lapses and crowd misconduct during the March Day 25 fixture against Katsina United. On Sunday, the supporters' actions resulted in harassment, loss of property, and injuries to match officials, members of the away team, while also holding them hostage for several hours, causing an 18-minute delay before play was restarted. In the English Premier League now, Manchester City closed the gap on league leaders Arsenal, who are in Thursday night with a 3-0 win over Fulham. Third placed Aston Villa pipped Brighton by a lone goal. Crystal Palace squandered a 2-goal lead, losing 3-2 to Burnley, while the game between Nottingham and Wolves ended goalless. And that's your sports news tonight. I am Kelly. Egiga is back to Ayotunde.
Many thanks, Kelly. And the main news again. Minister of Works David Umahi has pledged to resign if ongoing construction on the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Highway is proven substandard, inviting independent integrity tests to verify project quality. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balu.
Hello again and to entertain news on your one-shop just within the space. My name is Abidemi. Today on the program, Nigerian Grammy winner Thames ties Burna Boy as the Nigerian artist with the most Billboard 100 appearance with her 7th entry. We will shine our spotlight on new documentary Journey to Life as filmmaker Tasha brings motherhood and the conversation around ideal birth to the front burner. Plus, Ghanaian superstar King Promise and Nigerian hit maker Mr. Easy have officially announced a joint album titled See What We've Done. We have details and much more on the program today, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Two-time Grammy winner Thames is definitely soaring as she draws level with fellow Grammy-winning superstar Burna Boy for the most Billboard Hot 100 entries ever recorded by a Nigerian artist, with 7 songs now charting on the coveted US ranking. Her latest breakthrough arrives as What You Need, lifted from her surprise EP, Love as a Kingdom, debuts at number 93 on the Billboard Hot 100 this week. Now, Thames' 7 Hot 100 appearances not only matches Burna Boy, but also places her alongside South African rock band Sita for the most entries by any African artist in the chart's history. So our opening report today takes a look at the timeline of her 7 entries into the prestigious Billboard 100 class.
Yeah, I find you, I give you all you need, I know what you like.
Thames Hot 100 journey reflects a strategic mix of high-impact collaborations and hit solo records. She first appeared on the chart through WizKid's 2021 global hit Essence, which peaked